Okay, class. So today we're going to be reviewing how to multiply by tens, and we're going to be doing this with two-digit by two-digit numbers. And so last year you all learned how to multiply two-digit by two-digit, so this should just be a review. So we're going to start off by setting up our numbers. So the first example I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and multiply 50, sorry about that, times 70, okay? So now when following the rule of multiplying by tens, what we're doing is we have to take a look at how many tens I have in each number, right? And that's why it's called multiplying by tens, because I have, right, a 5 in my tens place in my first factor, and then I have a 7 in my tens place in my second factor, okay? So in looking at these, the way I multiply by tens, or the strategy I look at, is technically what I have is I have 5 tens times 7 tens. And when I look at it like that, those seem like numbers that are more simple for me to multiply, right? Okay, so my next step is going to be, well, how many hundreds do I have? And now the reason I have hundreds is because you have to remember that what I am multiplying is I am multiplying 50, right, times 70. It's not just 5 times 7, but I'm looking at, I broke it apart so that I could see how many tens I have, and that's easier for me to look at. So now that I see that, right, I can say, okay, well, how many hundreds do I have? Well, if I have 5 tens times 7 tens, I know that that gives me 35 hundreds. Okay, and so if I have 35 hundreds, how do I write the number 3500, right? So in case I happen to forget 3500, right, I look at my number right here, and I can see how many zeros do I have after each one of my factors. Well, I have 2 zeros, so I know that my answer, right, 3500 would have, and I'm sorry for that because that 0 does not look like a 0, that looked like a 6. This is what 3500 would look like, okay? So we're going to go ahead and practice that with another example. Okay, so let's go ahead and say that my next example is going to be, I have 20 times 80. Okay, my first step is to look at how many tens do I have in each factor. Okay, okay, so in this I can see, okay, I have 2 tens times 8 tens. Sorry about that. And again, when looking at those numbers, right, it's a lot easier for me to multiply 2 by 8, but still keeping in mind that what I'm multiplying are tens, right? So when I look at that, I can say, okay, 2 tens times 8 tens, how many hundreds is that going to give me? Well, what is 2 times 8? So I think to myself, okay, 2 times 8 is going to be 16. So I have 16 hundreds. And if I need to think, how do I write 16 hundreds? Because that is going to be my answer. Again, I look at my two factors here, and I see that I have 2 zeros. So 16 hundreds would be written, right? 16, and then my 2 zeros. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a shot with a few more. So let's go ahead and set up our next problem. So let's say that this time I have 30 tens times 90 tens, okay? So again, I'm going to look at how many tens do I have? Well, in my first factor, I have 3 tens. And my second factor has, okay, so we have 3 tens times 9 tens. And again, those are easier numbers for me to multiply, right? So, but keeping in mind that they are still tens, that's why it gives me hundreds. Okay, that's why we're looking at how many hundreds do I have, because I'm multiplying tens. So I go ahead and I put my hundreds here and I think, okay, how many hundreds do I have? So 3 tens times 9 tens gives me 27 hundreds, right? And then I go ahead and again, looking at my factors, I see I have 2 zeros in case I forgot how to write 2700. And then I would go ahead and write that my answer or my product would be 2700 or 2700. Same thing, okay? And so I was going to do a fourth one, but I think that is a good enough explanation and we can get started with our practice. So now inside of your Schoology, you are going to go ahead and go into your assignment that is going to be titled Multiply by Tens. Or multiplying by tens, and you're going to work on slides 2 through 6 on your own. Okay.